Perfect. Okay, we're rocking and rolling. So good evening, everybody. Lindsay here. We are on week, is it five of our summer success series? That's so exciting. Five. I want to make sure and say it right. For those watching in sequence, thank you to those who have joined us tonight, and I'm sure more will hop on. I feel like Mondays sneak up on us around here. It's a big day for Isogenics. Tomorrow, I think we all know that we have our first ever limited edition Cleanse for Life being released, which is really exciting. Corporate has made some beautiful images for us to use on our social media. So may you all have amazing days in business tomorrow. With that being said, I get the privilege of introducing one of my very most favorite friends, cross lines on another team in Isogenics. The most beautiful relationships come from people you get to meet at events, and Miss Allison is one of those. She has helped arrange and align this entire call series with me. We kind of conceptualized it a couple months ago that we wanted to collaborate with our teams and join forces. So she's been a huge component to the success of this. And of course, it was her and I who paired everyone up, the partners, several weeks ago. And she has a whole lot of heart for her team and for Isogenics. Allison does Isogenics full time. She left her corporate career a number of years ago due to her success in Isogenics, and really lives a beautiful full-time family with her husband, Jake. They have 3 little girls, so they are a total girl family. Happy Father's Day to you, Jake, by the way. I hope you were celebrated by your ladies big yesterday. And Allison's going to speak to us on 2 topics that do go hand in hand. The first being why network marketing. And the second, the benefits and the pros and the beauty of network marketing, especially as it pertains to her once corporate career. And she's also going to speak to us as to why our corporate events are so important, why you should be attending them consistently, why you should be inviting teammates to attend alongside you consistently, and so forth. So without any further ado, please help me welcome Miss Allison, who is a 4-star Golden Circle, 5-star Crystal Executive Leader in Isogenics. Thanks for being with us, Allison. Take it away.
That was so sweet and far too much. But thank you. I so appreciate it. The fun friendships we have and connections with people are just amazing. And it's been so awesome. And hopefully you guys have connected with your accountability partners. If you have not yet, just do it. Just own it and do it and be like, hey, we should connect. And then, I would say Lindsay and I will challenge you guys to meet up at Celebration and in person, even just like a hug or a quick hallway chat, or even schedule a coffee, before or after, or a workout, or, how much fun to get to know different people. So it's just awesome. And I do honor those of you who are on. I know, we get into the thick of summer with late June, early July. I know it can feel like a time when it's like, okay, there's so many different things competing for our time. Maybe we have kids home now. Some people are probably working on kid bedtime, but we just seriously, you guys, honor so much when doing the little things consistently over time is how this business is built, right? Instead of the start, stop, really big on, completely drain yourself and then have to stop. And that, so those of you who are consistent, I so see it, and I so just want to shout you out for that. So today I have the privilege of talking on a topic that is, honestly very near and dear to my heart. I made some slides, which you'll see the way that I do slides is literally words, black words on white screen, just only for the sake of visual. I know some people are really visual learners. One of my corporate, I spent 5 years in training and development. And so look at this, it's asking my language. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. And I know people really like to be able to look at the visual of, some of the key phrases and words that I think are so key when you think about network marketing and then when you think about events. And what I want to say about this, you guys, and I'll weave my story throughout, but when you think of this industry, it is a very beautiful industry. And a lot of times, and I want you guys to get so rock solid on your belief in network marketing, because if you waver and if you're like, yeah, I do it, I love the shakes, but I do this thing, or it's in this model, or you're not going to be able to grow a team. I will just be honest, you have to fall in love with the profession of network marketing. And belief is simply a decision to learn more and understand from a certain, point of view. And I will tell you, a lot of times we'll have people say, oh, I'll use the products, but I don't want to sell, or I don't, and it's like, I really want you to be able to have this conversation with people, this energetic, exciting conversation with them, at least educating people on what network marketing is, because it is a very specific profession. If you have not read Go Pro yet by Eric Worre, I strongly encourage you to do so. I will tell you. So a little about my story. 5.5 years ago, I was unmotivated and unfulfilled in my corporate job. I was sick of it. I love business. I always have. I got my MBA, my master's in business. Always just poured into, I knew I wanted to be a business major, like no question. But what I did not love about my corporate job is the inflexibility, the corporate politics, the rat race of going downtown, rushing out the door early, rushing home late, dressed in a suit all day. It just didn't feel like myself. Dealing with just meeting after meeting after meeting and project after project, it just got to feel like a hamster wheel. And some of you on here may feel that. You're like, oh my gosh, I totally get that. So the company I worked for was super well respected and a great, top company to work for, but it wasn't the lifestyle that I wanted. And it wasn't, this amazing thing where you literally get to create leverage over time. It felt like it was going to be going on forever. And so what I want to say is network marketing, it's not sales from a traditional sales standpoint. A lot of people think it's sales, and you do not need to be good at sales to do network marketing. There is a sales component. I would never, like when people say, well, it's not selling. Hayden Vavra at our recent Super Saturday from stage said, I want you to recognize you're going to take someone's credit card. So I want you to get over the fact that there is this aspect of selling because you're taking their credit card. And when you can own that and you can say, you know what? Every day we're selling something. We're selling ideas, or we're selling, a product or a value that we bring to the world. Selling is providing value. It does not mean that you're this sleazy used car salesman, So it's not sales, but there is a sales component. But what I love about this industry is the even bigger component is team building. And team building is where you're going to create leverage. So it's certainly not, selling a quota every single year or an amount that never goes away. I know I have traditional sales friends, and they have, they hit their quota, they're amazing, they're top, and then their territory expands, and the next year their quota is double, or they do that, and then, so it's like, this is not that. This is literally a profession, the only profession I can think of. If you can think of another, put it in the chat, but the only profession I can think of where you literally can over time increase the amount of free time you create and increase the amount of money you make. Like most every other job is this, you want more money, you're going to decrease your free time, or you want more free time, you're going to decrease your money. Like that is normal in other professions. And so what leverage means, you guys, is you're going to teach other people to do exactly what you do, right? And so this is the essence of what Isogenics is. Getting people started by referring them to products and creating a very efficient team that does the same. Those are the two things. Get people started on products, create an efficient team that does the same. Help them get paid by doing the same. And you will find people who are going to do a little bit, and you're going to find people who do a lot. And there's this 80-20 rule. It plays out in a lot of things. 80% of your people are going to do build 20% of your team. 20% of your people are probably going to build 80%. So that's where it's learning to match energy for energy and learning to really, focus on not ever in a bad or shameful or judgy or guilt-driven way, but who are these people and who am I going to partner with at what level? And when people talk to me about, well, so these people are making millions of dollars, or they're doing that, like, are the products super overpriced? Does anyone ever get that objection that, oh, you make that much money, then these products must be super overpriced? Here's the deal. I want you to picture Target. The company I worked for was Target. Picture Target, picture every single one of their the cost that goes into every single brick and mortar store. There's like 1,300 stores. All of the commercial advertisements, partnerships with like Taylor Swift and Keith Urban and Bullseye, their dogs. They have 3 actual dogs in Hollywood named Bullseye that they own. Now picture the catalogs and the mailers and every single person that works on like the Cartwheel app and every single thing, every employee in the store. You guys, I worked in the stores. Before I worked for corporate, picture the 20,000 people that work corporate jobs, HR and benefits and recruiting. Picture all of that money And now picture taking that money and moving it to the field here. Like that's literally the difference. So instead of having that corporate structure and paying for commercials and billboards and partnerships with celebrities, it's literally taking that and moving it. So Isagenix has a very trimmed down corporate, I think it's like 500 or 1,000 people. Even if it was 5,000, I promise you it's way less. And then just the brick and mortar stores. Picture Target with all their partnerships, property management, construction workers, everything it costs to run 1,300 stores. That money, Isagenix doesn't have to deal with. So it's actually, that's why it's wholesale, because there's not that middleman, if that makes sense. So we get paid by the company, and that's how it becomes residual. And then we get paid for getting people started, and then we get paid for teaching others to do the same. So those are the two ways. And I want you to keep it that simple. And I want you to recognize that, not everyone, some people are just going to use the products, right? Again, 80-20, 80% are just going to use the products. 20% are probably open to doing something with it. And the more efficient and the more trained and the better you can help your people keep this super simple, the more you're going to fall in love with network marketing. And what I find is that if people are having frustration on my team, it's usually because they're not duplicating yet. And because they feel every cycle, and because they are, getting people started and it's fun, but gosh, where are the other people, so it's like really working through that process of learning duplication. And if you feel like you need to raise your hand and learn duplication, raise your hand, talk to Lindsay, talk to me, talk to your accountability partner. There are like so many ways that we have to be talking about the money opportunity, the business, and this stuff. I want this to be able to spill out of you, because I talk to people. I talk to unenrolled people about everything I'm sharing with you tonight. I talk to people. I tell every single person that I'm talking to this formula that I have on the screen right now. I say, the coolest thing about, when they're looking at other network marketing companies, maybe versus Isagenix, I say, well, you know what? Our products are, oh gosh, I totally have the wrong word on here, you guys. I have emotional and visible and social. And I meant, sorry, I used those words, but consumable is one that I missed. So 3 of them, the main one, you guys, that I say our products are so consumable. Our products are so consumable. Visible and social I put together. So that's one. Our products are so consumable, right? How many times do I need another mascara or another lip gloss or even another essential oil if that's all they have? It's not super consumable. So the concept of repeat customers. And then the second one is visible. How many of you, I bet there are people on here that said they didn't want to do anything with this business, but it was visible, your change was visible, and people started asking you what you were doing. Comment in the chat if that's you. Because that happens with our stuff. That doesn't happen with a lot, with kitchen utensils or with, and this is nothing against that. I buy that stuff, but when I think about a good business decision, it is consumable, it's visible, and then it's emotional. The emotional attachment. I have people who tell me, I feel so good, I will never go another day without these products in my body. That is an emotional attachment, right? The energy they feel, the presence with their children, the mental clarity, being nicer because they have ionics, all of those things, so consumable plus emotional plus visible, or you could call it social, equals residual. So I want you guys to tell people that. And when you're talking through this stuff and network marketing is spilling out of you, I want you to have high belief, right? David Wood talks about having high belief in the 5 different areas, network marketing being one of them, and low attachment to what they're going to say. Because the difference, I will say, if you have high belief, people aren't going to come at you with certain objections. When you have high belief, that spills out of you. People really don't say to me, is that a pyramid scheme? Because I go after all this stuff as I'm talking through why, what is Isagenix? Why do you love it? Why are you excited about it? This stuff comes out when I'm talking to them because I feel so strongly about it. And you build that through, we're going to talk about events, reading, plugging in, staying consistent, getting these little tidbits, writing down the ones that resonate with you, and then taking them back and, really saying to yourself, gosh, is this true? There's so much truth to this. And then, testing it and practicing and failing forward, you will eventually have the words down. So I think when it comes, I'm going to look at the chat quick because then I'm going to go on to, yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, Becky, exactly. You were never going to do anything. And then people, you weren't planning on it, but then people started commenting. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's why I want to tell everyone, that's why we have network marketing, right? That's why Jim and Kathy chose network marketing, so that when people see your results and they naturally ask, and I will forward speak that when I start someone, I'll say, you know what, you're going to feel so good and you're going to look good and you're going to have results and it's going to be visible. And that's one of the, and then I'll throw right in there. That's one of the reasons I love partnering with Isagenix for network marketing, you know, or it's highly consumable. We order every single month. Look at your lifestyle rewards. It's just food. I know Laura Stevens, a lot of you on her team, always says it's just food. Everybody eats, right? She always says that. So, you know, I think it's just really important to understand those aspects of network marketing. And network marketing is very different from affiliate marketing, which I know that term is going around a lot right now. And the concept of a coupon code where maybe someone gets a, 20% kickback the first time someone orders from their website for a product or something, right? Like sharing referral codes is great. The difference is every single time that someone buys, imagine being the person to tell someone about Target. And every single time they bought at Target, not just the first time, you got a small cut of that. Imagine that every single time. That's what it is with Isagenix, every single time. So that repeat concept is so important, right? Okay, so then are there any questions so far? Let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to go on to events. So events are huge. And events, you guys, are truly one of my favorite ways to build this business. I believe everyone, if they have like 2 or 3 like secret sauces or things that they really master, maybe you're really good at dreaming big with people. Maybe you're really good at drawing out a comp plan. Maybe you're really good at enrolling people and you go enroll like 1,000 people, right? You're going to find the ones. Maybe you're really good at getting people to events. I would say this is one of those things that we have focused on and have really honed in on for Jake and I specifically. Because I see the value, because in my first month, when I was that person at the beginning, before, I said to Amanda, how do I get trained on this? And she said, go, there's an ICU in Phoenix, you can go. And I went and I roomed with a stranger. I did not know anyone. She was I was pregnant, but she was super pregnant. She could not fly. And I just got on a plane and I went and I sat in that room knowing no one I just was the person in the corner taking notes, soaking it up. You never know who it's going to land on. And had I not gone, I would not have been able to propel in the early days. So keeping the event from someone that might potentially, you see it for them and their life and it might change their life. If you don't ask them about that, you might be keeping something super, super valuable from them. And so I literally ask everyone, like I have such a casual product user that I texted tonight saying I would really, Jake and I were talking, I would love for you to come to Nashville. Super casual product user. Ask all of those people. And, part of it is, our community and culture are second to none. And I know, Lindsay said from stage at ICU Vegas that, Laura just happened to have her, come to the event. And she's like, she knew well what she was doing, but Lindsay wanted to come with her gala dress and check it out and have that fun. And, even if someone simply wants to be a product sharer, like there's a place for them at the event, even for the product users. Maybe they sit there and they see the 100-pound club going across stage. Maybe they, come and they're like, okay, I want to learn about the science behind the products because I want to use more products. People say yes to that. They do. And then they come and then something hits them right here that Emily Vavra or Hillary Courtney or someone talks about from stage. And they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I actually maybe want this, and it's so powerful. So right this time of year, I'm checking our reports for how many people we have signed up for celebration. And you all have that report right under the business, under reports, under the business tab, downline event registrations. I will tell you, my very first year, I had about 6 people. And I would say 5 of them were Jake's family members. And I had one girl who became our first executive. And it was so it was 6 of us and me. And it was so fun. None of them are coming this year to celebration. That's another thing. Just, people come and they have their time. And I remember that event saying, I will have 100 people here sometime. Like, I'm so pumped. And just this week, my report says 100 right now. So that's very exciting. But my point is that's not, it's like you start somewhere and we went 6 and then maybe I said we'd have 100 the next year and maybe we had 11 and then, and then the next time, maybe 20 and then the next time, so you just build the events. And some people will not go every time, but that's where I want you guys to be inviting. Eric Worre says we make $1,000 per person. annually for the company events. And I would argue it's higher in Isagenix than $1,000 per person. I like to add up how many people we had at New Year's kickoff, ICU, UIA, and celebration every year. I would say it's more like $1,000 per that. Just from my experience. And I don't know, Lindsay or someone else can speak if they have different experience, but I think our events are so rock solid and stellar. And I think our compensation plan is so rock solid. And so just getting the people to the events. And again, it's not about the $1,000 per person. That's just a stat to tell you literally the thing standing between you is literally numbers, but it's about who's that person who's going to sit in the room like I did at that first event and just they're going to be writing and writing and writing pages of notes and come home ready to do this and ready to rock. Some people will go and they'll party the whole time. Some people are going to go, their dream on their heart, they're going to be like, wow, I can do this. And 5 years later, they're going to be sitting there having completely changed their life. I want you guys to think of it that way. I want you to think of how inspirational it is. And I just think like people are going to be invited by someone. I know Barbie talked about inviting people to take a look a few weeks ago. People will be invited to a network marketing company or to Isagenix by someone else so it's like the invite I ask and you'd be surprised if people say yes. And then some people say no, but it doesn't mean no one has ever been like, ugh, no, it's like, come with me, and I mean, that's it. If they're like, oh no, I can't, you're just like, no problem, no big deal. Okay. I know I could totally see you there. I could totally see you there. And then it's maybe in their head for the next time, so I just think, and so celebration is August, we know. And then UIA is in, I know it's 2 weekends in October. It's in DC and it's also in Toronto, which if the DC, we have some people that are looking at the Toronto dates because the DC weekend, they have like a wedding or something. So just know it's back-to-back 2 weekends because I know David Wood is in high demand and I'm sure they're going to sell out. And sometimes those are the things that you get a spouse to because maybe they need to see it. Or I remember Jake going to UIA and coming back and being like total man crush on David Wood, like what guy isn't going to go and come back and be like, even if they're not going to do it with you, to be like, I totally get why you're doing this now. And maybe just step up a little around the house or maybe just be that positive, in your ear, because again, environment, if you're immersing yourself with your peeps, with your team. That's why we do this on Monday nights together. We gather because environment is stronger than your willpower of what you're going to do every day. Immersing yourself is so important. I know Emily, and I bring Emily up a lot because she lived in Minnesota before. So we had a lot of super Saturdays with her, but she talks about moving in with Holly DeMont, her enrolling sponsor. Not that you have to move in, but just being present with your people. And that's what events do. Like we literally can't wait to get together again and then go home even clearer and be able to strategize and just be able to, run over the next 90 days. And so chapter 7 in GoPro is all about promoting events. And he talks about, it's not just an invite. It's not just a post it in your group and hope people come. It is a promotion. You should be a event promotion machine right now for celebration. And then I would also say for Super Saturdays in your area or any area. I certainly will search other ones. If I have someone in Seattle, I'll search Seattle. If I have, isagenixare.com. If I have someone in Texas, I'll search Dallas or wherever. And I'll send them out to people. And I've been known to hop on planes for that too if they're serious, to go with them. But, really, and then also local tasting, sip and samples that sort of like build to that. And then you build to the Super Saturdays and then you build to the core 4. And for sure, anyone that's doing this, they know that their calendars need to be marked off for celebration, New Year's kickoff. We already have the dates. As soon as you have them, I'm touching base with our top leaders to make sure they know and their teams know so that we're blocking that off and not booking, a trip that with our family that could have been the following month or something. So I just want you guys to think about that. And then I'm trying to think. Yeah, so check your reports. I strongly encourage you to check your reports. And really, I feel like the formula for success, for results in this business is skills plus mindset plus action. We get the skills. We've been giving you the skills the last 4 weeks. We have today and then 3 more weeks, and we have some fun speakers coming up. And then mindset again on these calls, even like tonight was a mindset heavy call, plus Events give you mindset, personal development, reading, podcasts, all those things. And then events also propel you into action. And we gain that, we gain these things at the events, and then that's how we get results. And I truly believe that you can look at those three things almost like a triangle and say, where am I missing, or what do I need more of? Skills. And the cool thing is all of these are changeable. Skills can be learned, right? Skills can be learned. You can go back and watch the calls from, the people who, Katie and Heidi and Gretchen and Barbie. You can go back and watch those again and again and again until you get it. Go watch Lynn Hagedorn draw out the comp plan until you have it down as clear as she does. Mindset, same thing. You can work on that. You can do that. You can listen to podcasts, personal development, and then action, is a decision. And so, I just really think, that's kind of what I take all this into and culminate it as. I would rather run with one than drag 100 always. So look at who you have on your team, and I would just say run this summer together. The other thing about leverage, when I talk about leverage, is picture yourself working 40, 60 hours at Isagenix in a week. Now picture teaching, say 60. Now picture teaching 10 people each how to work 6 hours a week. That's the same thing, right? The same thing. And so if you picture, and then now picture having 100 people each working 6 hours a week, because the 10 each go find 10 people. That's 600 hours in a week, which you could never physically do, right? So that's the leverage piece. And that's where I want you to think. And if it's you and one other person right now, and it feels like most of the hours are you that you've put in, that's okay. But I need you to always have that long-term mindset and then have the wins along the way. That's why the company has the upfront bonuses, the rank advancement, the path to Crystal Executive. All of those things are there for that. So I just really, tonight was really about network marketing and about events. Does anyone have any questions I can answer? I'll look at the chat, but that's pretty much what I had. I'll stop sharing so I can double check the chat. Yeah. Good. Awesome. I know just to clarify the pyramid scheme, in case anyone does get that question, I will make you raise your hand if you do. But if you do, and I have gotten it before, I feel I've gotten to the point of addressing it ahead of time now, just with practice. Pyramid schemes are illegal, and there's not a product involved. So if you can literally say to people, like, a pyramid scheme is a promise for money or to get rich. So if I were to say, hey, come with me and do this, it'll cost you $500 to buy in, and you don't actually get a physical product, that is a pyramid scheme. That is, so I will say, if someone asks me, I'll just say, do you know what a pyramid scheme is? Do you want to know? And just very calmly, and then, just tell them. And I mean, that's usually all you have to say. And then you move on. Okay. Any questions or anything else?
Allison, thank you so much. And thank you for your images.
You're welcome.
I took a screenshot of most of them.
Good.
And I think your target example was very powerful. Just put in perspective how much money goes into running brands and corporations and companies. That's huge. And that it's easy for all of us to replicate. So thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
Good. Awesome. I am so glad.
Congratulations on having so many team members going to Celebration. That should be everybody's goal and beyond.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. Any last questions for Allison? Thank you to each of you who are on live this evening. I know many will watch the recording. I'll get them up as soon as possible. As always, I appreciate your time. A big thank you from Holly. You had a thank you from Becky. You guys can always personal message Allison if you need anything.
Always. We're cheering you on, guys.
Okay. And thank you, Jake, for sharing your wife with us. You all have a wonderful evening, and thank you.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye, guys.